So hi guys, we are out at Malibu Compost Farm. Spring has sprung. This is a big foundation to my garden. If you watch our past video, there's a little history on Randy and how this all came to mind and began. But today, I want to talk a little bit more about biodynamic from the man that put it out there and the importance of this and what great value. This is not your standard typical compost. It's much more. So Randy, thanks again for joining me and your viewers and listeners. And you kind of heard my opening, Biodynamic with Baby Boo. So I'm backing up. Baby Boo, how did Baby Boo come into the whole game here? We'll start with that.
Well,
Surfing cow.
So, hi, thank you for having me and coming out to Malibu Farm and spending a great, like one of the first spring days. It's just been epic here in Oregon.
It has been, yeah.
Just a beautiful day. We've been out here since 5:30 this morning, and my neighbors who haven't been having a hard time getting their crops in because it was so wet and cold, and we had sleet last week. Farmer Brown from Mustard Seed Farm over there, he was out there with us, man. 5:30, those tractors were all fired up and we were going. So Boo is the surfing cow, and when we started Malibu Compost, we decided that our company, all of us guys that started it, Rainey, our CFO, and Colin used to be with us, and a bunch of other people, his husband, and Brad, who's back there on the tractor. You can see a tractor go by, and me. We all decided that we wanted to do the right thing for people, planet, and animals. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that we sourced our material from really good dairies that were good organic dairies with organic dairy cows where the material was really good. We also wanted to, back then, there was a whole bunch of culling of herds because we were, as I was saying in the previous video, we were at a pretty tough economic time, and a lot of dairies get hit hard when times are tough. The dairies seem to get it first, and they were killing cows basically to thin their herds, and so everything was going to beef. So I called one of my friends from Organic Pastures, Mark McAfee, and his son came out and met me at an auction in Visalia, which is a real shit kicker town in the Central Valley, and I actually saw Morrissey in Visalia at one of the greatest concerts I ever saw, but that's besides the point. So we're at this auction, and we walk in and we hear "Go to Beef," and I look down and I see Boo, and I go, "Nah, man, go to Beef." And I look at Aaron McAfee, and he goes, "Yeah, go to Beef." So I go up to the auctioneer and I said, "Hey, I want that cow that you're selling to Beef." And he goes, "Well, if you can find her back there in the pens and put her back through, put a price on her that was more than we're going to get for Beef, and you can have her." So Aaron and I looked through all these pens. We finally found Boo. We put her through. She was really scared. She hadn't had a lot of good human contact. Put her through. We put a price on her, and I bought Boo.
Wow.
So we put Boo in the trailer. If you want to read a good story, you guys, go on our website, MalibuCompost.com, and read the story of Boo. It's in the About Us section, and then there's the story of Boo, and it tells you her story. And so we brought her home. I told her that day. We put a cowbell on her so we could always find her in the herd and find her around the farm. And we told her that day, "You will never have another bad day again." And we lived up to our word. And Boo had a great life until she passed away a few years back. And we still have her 3 kids. And
how neat is that?
It's amazing.
That's so neat.
It's amazing. And I'll be honest with you guys, I maybe haven't cried as hard as an adult, as a grown man, as the day Boo died.
Understandable.
Understandable. And I had to bury her, and it was very hard. And
yeah, that would be tough.
And the coolest thing was, I say this all the time, but we had 3,000 letters of condolence, on Facebook and social media and emails to us. And what's amazing to me is none of those people had ever met Boo. They just were touched by her.
Right.
And so that was really amazing. So there's a lot of really awesome people out there. You know, it's not as bad as the news would like to let you know. There's still a lot of great people walking this earth.
There is. There very much is. So biodynamic, let's get into that big long word. Where did that come from, biodynamic?
Came from Rudolf Steiner, who back in the 20s created biodynamic agriculture. You can get a book now called The Course in Agriculture, which were his lectures, and talking, you know, basically about looking at the soil as a living organism, the farm as a closed system, looking at the different types of preparations, different types of energy that goes into the soil, goes into the planet. One of the reasons that he liked making compost with dairy cow is because on a biodynamic farm, the cows keep their horns, and because they're a hooved animal, they're touching the earth, so they're getting the energy from the earth, and they're drawing the energy from the cosmos.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Steiner was a really interesting cat. I didn't grow up, you know, as an anthroposophist or in a biodynamic community. Colin did. I was just very interested in biodynamics once I met Alan York, and once I met the guys that we started making compost with, and that took my study into biodynamics and into making biodynamic compost. So when we put this on the bag, we were like, nobody put biodynamic on a bag. The CDFA in California didn't even know what the heck it was. And really, I mean, they knew, but you know, no one had ever really done that. And so we were part of their organic program, because Demeter, who certifies things organic, I mean biodynamic, is also an organic certifier. You have to be organic to run through the organic program with the CDFA, and biodynamic falls under that as well.
No, there's a little label right there.
So the cool thing about biodynamics is I love where Steiner's head was at in terms of nutrition and spiritual life, and how spirituality and energy is a big part of the animals, what we eat, the cosmos, the soil. Very important. When you get into organic farming, so it's kind of like the grandfather of organic farming in a simple way, and the grandfather of permaculture in some ways, and the grandfather of regenerative ag in some ways. So the cool thing is you get into organic, and it's much more calculated. It's much more, you know, where you're looking at, you know, how much nitrogen do I need to fertilize this field, how much. It's looking at things of what I can use and what I can't use in crop production is how organics look at things. And then there's a whole thing that we do, and I hashtag it every day on my social media, Malibu Compost on Instagram and Malibu Compost on Instagram. I hashtag true organic. I hashtag a few things. I hashtag real, I hashtag farm made, I hashtag biodynamic, I hashtag true organic, and I hashtag non-GMO. And those 5 things are important to me, because everything that is organic and labeled organic is supposed to be non-GMO, but nobody tests. Nobody really goes into that level of testing. And how do you test? So for us, how we test is we take in our compost, finished compost, and we send it into the lab, and we do what's called a genetic ID. And that genetic ID is looking for what conventional animals eat that goes into food sources, whether it's to eat as a human being or as a fertilizer source. And that would be corn, soy, and alfalfa. All of those crops are GMO, and all of them are sprayed with Roundup because they're Roundup ready, or herbicide. I'm here to tell you guys it doesn't cook out. So when you go into a nursery and you buy a bag of chicken manure, if it comes from a conventional farm, those guys have been eating stuff that you don't want, you don't want in your garden. If you're like me, for me, I'm not okay with playing the organic game. I want it to be organic. A lot of times I'll when I've taught classes and stuff, I'll ask everybody in the class, hey, how many of you guys are organic gardeners? Hey, I am. Everybody raises their hand. And I go, okay, so how many of you guys know that everything that's going into your garden is organic? Hands down. I go, how many of you guys are absolutely confused about what organic is? all the hands go back up. I go, okay, let's make it real simple. And I just go back to what I told you guys. So we run toxicology panels looking for anything that's in pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. We run metals analysis. We run nutrition analysis. We run the genetic ID for the GMO corn, soy, and alfalfa. We run biological analysis to see what's happening biologically. We're probably the most heavily tested soil company in the world by far. And not because we have to be, because we want to be. Because I want to know the food I'm growing at home is nutrient dense and it's safe. My wife wants to know that with the clients that she has. She does orchard management and production and food production for her clientele. I want our customers to know that when they buy Malibu Compost, they're buying something that's safe. They're buying something that has taken, there's been a lot of love and care that went into it. So for me, you know, Biodynamics was that great springboard that Steiner gave us. And now we're in a place where it's like, hey man, I want true organic. I want non-GMO. I want real. I want stuff that, you know, this is made on a farm. There's a lot of biology in this soil. You know, Brad's back there on the tractor. You know, we just turned these windrows. We watch them like our own children.
Wow.
And that's what we do at Malibu Compost, man, because we love it.
All right. So there you go, a little deeper into Malibu Compost, but we have more videos coming up to go even deeper with so much more information. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Randy.
Carl, as always, thank you.
You're very welcome, and always grow happy. We'll see you in the next one.